Hi, how you doing? Just scrambling here, trying to get ready for the show. Noticing inflation numbers coming up; they're higher in the U.S. Inflation-adjusted consumer spending up a modest 0.1%. Annualized personal consumption inflation index is rise 6.4 from 6.2. Some headlines coming out there. Not good. That's the word. Yeah, that's the word it's called. It means not good. Um, we've got. I'm just watching here. Treasury yields are moving up again in the U.S. Because of this news and just the way the market is going. Welcome one, welcome all. I'm showing the Dow up 54 points, and I don't want you to be fooled out there that wow, got an up day here. It's going to be great. Um, we are tentatively up. We're now only up 40 on the Dow. We could well have a multiple 100-point day drop today. We could have a lot of volatility today as well. Putin is speaking right now about annexing. He's signing documents to annex Ukraine, all that crap. He's got a staged show going on with all these happy, smiling Russians. Good luck with that. The S&P's up 12, Nasdaq's up 42. This is a third of a point, 1/10 of a point. There's nothing much happening here. Oil is down 83 cents to 80.34. I find that interesting that oil is dropping right now. I'm reading all kinds of stuff. I am finding out stuff this morning that is really concerning. And I'm talking about the big economic picture and the big global picture. I am coming across info that is really concerning. That is telling me there is a tsunami wave offshore that we don't see. We got a mini wave this week. The UK saw it. They got a mini wave, a tsunami wave this week when the Bank of England had to intervene in the bond market. The bond market, they had to intervene to help steady it, which helped steady the pound as it was getting crushed this week. This is never done. Okay, like this is to the extent that the Bank of England had to get involved in the UK bond market to stabilize the nation's currency. This does not happen. Not normal. Okay, like in the movie Young Frankenstein, when the hunchback fellow was sent to the city to bring back a brain. He brought one back that was labeled abnormal. Yeah, this is not normal. Not it's not good either. It's like not normal bad. Okay. Um, the pound right now is 110.6. It was 120 a couple weeks ago. It was 103 this week for a nanosecond, hung around 105 this week, got up to 112 last night. It's now back to 110. There's intervention happening as I speak. I mean, the Bank of England is probably supporting this thing here because there are sellers. There are a lot of sellers. And who's selling the British pound? Well, not people with pounds in their pockets. They're not selling. You and I could go to our banker and switch pounds for US dollars. It won't make a damn bit of difference in the overall market. We are puny. We don't count. The problem is, and the reality is, that who is selling pounds are pension funds, hedge funds, insurance funds, massive mutual funds. What's happened here is, since the crisis of 07, 08, the financial crisis that just about brought down the entire economic platform of the planet, and took massive intervention by the Federal Reserve, took massive intervention by the U.S. Government, the Congress, and then Obama got into the office 5 months later, and he inherited 2 million job losses a month in the U.S. and a crumbling economy, an absolute nightmare. That was Obama's first 6 months. Like, welcome, you're the president here. You can have this. Thankfully, that got stabilized, and a lot of people were upset because they hate the term "too big to fail." But the U.S. government stepped in and bailed out and backed, with the Federal Reserve of the United States. They backed the U.S. banking system from collapsing. and the seven largest bankers on the planet in the US they staved off elimination. Some did not. They had already dropped out. Lehman's and Bear Stearns, they were already gone. Merrill Lynch was sold for $1 a share to Bank of America just before it went bankrupt, and on it goes. That was the last time we had any kind of a crisis of biblical proportions, because if the US had gone under, everybody goes under. All right. Well, now this week, the UK had to step in. The Bank of England had to step in to protect its own currency, because pension funds in the United Kingdom are heavy buyers of something known as LDIs. And there's an actual term for it, but I don't understand it. I'm trying to figure this out. It's a derivative. And what it's designed to do, it's designed to allow pension funds to protect the interest rates coming in to their pensions from bonds they hold. And it's a form of insurance. But what it's not designed to do, and was never designed to do, it was not designed to protect pension funds from depreciating prices of bonds in a real fast hurry. Bonds fluctuate. They go up and down. But they fluctuate in thousands of a percentage point, or in hundreds of a percentage point. They don't fluctuate 1% in an hour. Bonds don't do that. But bonds were doing that. This week, pension funds were getting margin calls from their derivatives backers, saying, yeah, you leveraged your pension fund $500 billion with these LDIs. We have a cash call. We need you to come up with $100 million in cash. And they have cash lying around. I mean, pension funds are very liquid. And so they here's $100 million. And then 2 hours later, we need another $100 million. Well, we better send them $100 million, but we better sell some bonds to raise more cash, to always have cash on hand. And so they started issuing sell orders for their British AAA rated government bonds, their 30-year bonds, their 25-year bonds, their 50-year bonds. And there's a very good market for British AAA bonds. There's a very good market for US bonds, Canada bonds, Germany bonds, and so on. And for the first few hours, no problem. But then it spread out. It wasn't like one pension fund was getting a margin call. It was all of them getting a margin call. All of a sudden, billions of dollars every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, every hour were needed. Because as selling came in, the bond values dropped and the yields went up, because, of course, the lower the bond price, the higher the yield. And the lower the bond prices, the more pressure on margin calls came in, and they had to keep selling and raise cash. This meant whoever's buying these bonds and selling these bonds, it put pressure on the British pound. And we saw the British pound drop to a low of 103 in like a couple of hours from 110. Also doesn't happen. That's not supposed to happen. The Bank of England, of course, is not asleep. They're watching this too. The alarms are going off at every official's cell phone and text messaging, and they're going, alert, alert, alert. The Bank of England people are rushing into the office going, what the hell is happening? And they start to buy British bonds that are sinking in value on the international markets. They just step in and start buying, which means the government of the United Kingdom, the entire United Kingdom Treasury, is buying its own bonds from its own pension funds to give them cash for the bonds instead of just letting them hold the bonds. And it's allowing them to cover their cash calls. And this stabilized the pound for a couple of days. And that's why we're at 110 right now, not at 104 or one at bar parity with the American dollar. But we're not going back to 120 or 130 or 140 where the pound used to be a couple of years ago. The other problem is that we don't know how many other pension funds on the planet have LDIs and how much they have LDIs, what kind of a percentage of their portfolio had been protected from low interest rate payouts. I'm not explaining this to you in really good detail, and I'm keeping it really simple because I try to keep it simple for myself. But just safe to say that the history of the stock market is when the bond market has a tough time, equities have a worse time. Equities are not equal to bonds in quality. They're not equal to bonds in priority. If you're a hedge fund manager, you're an asset manager, the firm you're with, 80% of the value of the firm you work for is probably in bonds, and 20% of it might be in equities, stocks. And when bonds need money, when the bond department needs cash, they get it by also selling stock. And that is why, partially why, in the last week or two, we have seen the stock market go down in value because pension funds, hedge funds, mutual funds, ETFs, all these institutions that are bond investment heavy, as they should be, are raising cash for cash calls. And some of the cash is coming from stocks. And the problem for equity traders is a lot of people are in the equity market, individuals, and a lot of hedge funds, and a lot of pension funds and ETFs, but a lot of hedge funds, of which there are trillions of dollars in the equity market, they're leveraged in the equity market. We know this. We've seen this here just with SoFi, for example. SoftBank. We've seen SoftBank lose a ton of value, billions and billions of value. They have been selling and selling and selling all kinds of stuff, including SoFi shares, to raise cash to cover cash calls. And we heard about that hedge fund about a year ago that was leveraged 40 to 1 on some bets, and they were borrowing money from several banks at the same time on the same asset, which is illegal. We found out all about those guys last year, and we've been asking around this channel, are there more? If so, how many and how leveraged are these guys? And the bankers out there have been scrambling to double check that all of their clients that they lent money to for margin and derivatives trading and whatever else only borrowed from them on the asset they say they've got. And there have been a lot of changes in banker client relations to make sure the bankers are flat and covered. Hasn't helped the Swiss bank, though, has it? Swiss bank is still in trouble. And Swiss bank is looking to raise cash by selling off divisions and assets. They were the big loser in that hedge fund that went belly up. So we've got a lot of pressure on the market right now from other sources other than lower earnings expectations, high interest rates, high inflation numbers. We have all these excuses that we've been talking about why the market would go down. But one of the excuses, there wasn't an excuse made that said, oh, well, the market's going to go down on the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P because the bond market is in big trouble. That wasn't ever on anyone's radar, because who would think that AAA bonds issued by the United States, the UK, Germany, EU, Canada, and anyone else would be a problem? I mean, we've had 8% interest rates before. We've had 4% interest rates before. We've had inflation at 8, 10% before. We've had this, but most of you were kids, very young children when this last happened, but this has been around. Bonds fluctuate, but a crash in the UK currency and its bond market, simultaneous crash, unthinkable. Now, if this was Serbia, or if this was Argentina's bonds, or if it were Paraguay's bonds, or if it were, Sri Lanka's bonds, we'd all go, well, it's third world, second world countries, not like G8. The UK is a G7 economy. It's one of the top 5 on the planet. If this economy can be so quickly put on, teeter-totter on a real problem basis within days, what about the rest of the G7s? This is a warning shot across the bow for everyone to pay attention. I'm not guaranteeing there's going to be a problem everywhere else or anywhere else. I'm just warning you. I'm just telling you. And this is just coming to light. This information is now coming up, and people are going, holy crap, I had no idea that this could happen. Well, I'm looking at it going, I had no idea that the Bank of England would have to step in on a Tuesday or a Wednesday to salvage its own bond market, protect its national pension funds. We're talking government pension funds and private pension funds. I'm not talking about, some highfalutin tech stock pension fund. I'm talking about like the government of the United Kingdom's pension fund was getting cash calls. This is right to the top where it shouldn't be happening, and it is. And this was serious stuff. And I can tell you, you noticed. Did you notice any press conferences by the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom assuring the population that everything was all right? No, you didn't. Did you see in question period in the House of Commons the MP stand up and yell at the Prime Minister about how shaky and how scary everything is? And no, you didn't. Why didn't you? Because they don't know. They don't get it. They aren't that smart. They're not that educated in economics. They're politicians. Remember, your politician, my politician, they won a popularity contest to get a civil servant job. That's all they are. That's all they'll ever be. And they're not your mother, and they're not your father, and they're not your priest, and they're not your rabbi, and they don't tell you how to live, and they don't tell you what to think. They're just winners of popularity contests, right up to the top. That's all they are. That's all they'll ever be. And they don't understand what it's like for you and I out in the real world, because they're in a fantasy world of make believe and make it all great again world. They have no idea how to buy a loaf of bread. They don't even know how a loaf of bread is made. And in the economics front, oh my God, they haven't got a clue. The bankers at the Fed, they do know what's going on, and they know how it works. The folks at the Treasury, they know how it works. The top civil servants of countries, they know how things work because they don't get $5 million a year to show up and get endorsement deals and publicity shot campaigns and stuff. They don't run for election every 2 years. These people have careers that they're just kind of keep the world stable. Unfortunately, they have these morons above them that we elect, that we put into serious positions, and they don't know a damn thing about the real world, because that's our fault, because we love popularity contests. Keep the popularity contest on America's Got Talent, and we'll be fine. Put it into the political arena, we're screwed. And that's what's happening right now everywhere. Welcome to 2022, kids. What can I say? Look, the markets are likely to go lower because you have to ask yourself, if you're a hedge fund manager and you're a very well-to-do individual and you like to, bet on the markets, you're a day trader. Are you interested in holding stock at the bell tonight, or are you interested in holding cash at the bell tonight so that on Monday you can start fresh? Do you want to hold positions Friday night and hope that they're the same price Monday morning? Because between tonight and Monday morning, you tell me what the hell is going to go on. Is there going to be an intervention by the French National Bank into their bond situation? Is there going to be an intervention in Japan for theirs? Is there going to be an intervention in India to shore up their bonds? Is there what? Where's the next surprise coming from that is even worse or as bad as what's been going on in the UK? And let me ask you this question. Is the UK fixed now? Is the UK all better now? Has this been put away? Has this been solved? There won't be no more episodes? Or is this a temporary fix of a massive problem? We got a Band-Aid on a wound that's about to blow. And we are clueless as to how this is going. And the other big question, and you tell me who's going to answer this question, and you tell me who could answer this question that everyone would believe as an honest answer. Is the same happening in the United States? Why would the United States admit that they have this problem too? And who would be the admitter? If the California Teachers Pension Fund came out and said, we have a 20% exposure of our $500 billion pension in shaky bond prices, and then every other pension fund followed them, I guess we'd all believe those guys, because why would they all say the same thing? I mean, it's as bad news. But is the regulator going to say that in the state of California? Is the Federal Reserve in the United States going to come to the world markets and say a third of all U.S. pension assets are in trouble and might be worth a penny on the dollar as of tomorrow morning? Are they going to say that? No, of course not. Why would they say that? Would create a calamitous scenario across the planet. I would just stop business in its tracks. So where are we? Where are we at really? If AAA government bonds are at risk for valuation and for certainty, and they have to be bailed out by the governments that issued them in the first place, what do you hold? What can you trust? If you hold euros, they're going down in value. You're losing money. If you hold pounds, they're going down in value. You're losing money. Right now, everyone's jumping into the American dollar. It's the only currency that people will trust, because those 400 million Americans out there are good for the dough, good for the world planet's credit. That's how important Americans are to the world economic system. And yet, is America perfect? Oh, God, no. But it's the best we got, and this is where we're at here. I'm watching this market closely for you as option writers. I'm happy to report you don't have anything to worry about writing options on your stocks. You're going to continue to do what you've been doing, taking money off the counter that the gamblers are putting down to take a wager on a flyer. Every week, there are more and more and more desperate investors coming to this market who got their butts handed to them in the last year. There are, I don't know how many millions around the world who were leveraged with mortgages, credit card debt, car loans, personal loans, and margin account loans to play the stock market. There were people out there doing everything wrong to play the stock market. They leveraged everything they had and jumped into the market when they should have walked in with $5,000 and tried to buy and sell stock with $5,000. They came to the market with $50,000, pretending they were hedge funds, 10 to 1 leverage. And they're figuring, I'll buy $50,000 of the stock because I want to be a big shot. And if I only make 10% return on a $50,000 portfolio, I'll make $5,000. I only have $5,000. I've doubled my money, and now I'm going to run a $100,000 portfolio. And guess what happened? For 5 years, the market had really done well, except for that COVID glitch. And then it recovered and kept doing well. And people were fed the goods that this will never stop. With low interest rates and low inflation, you can borrow money for next to nothing, buy stock, because these companies make money in this kind of an environment. And you're just going to see your stock go up and up and up, and you're going to be retired in no time. No backup plan and fully leveraged. A 10% pullback would almost wipe out their entire year's gains. A 20% pullback would wipe out 3 or 4 years of gains. A 30% pullback in stock prices would wipe them out. And that's exactly what happened. Didn't happen in one day. It started subtly. We topped out last fall through the winter, and at the end of the year, that was the last of the good days. Then what happened this January, February, and March? The market went down, and it went down to the point where it wiped out the really shaky investors within 30, 60 days. They were gone fast. Then it ate away at everybody else. And then slowly but surely, people threw in the towel because they gave up. They couldn't cut it. And that is why, in a small way, there aren't 25 YouTube channels anymore on the air with a whole bunch of people telling you about the great mother of all short squeezes that are out there. There's a handful of us left that are still here. Maybe newcomers have come in since, but who was around 2 years ago and who's around now? Very few of us left. And for those of you who've become option writers, you have found a way to not be kicked out of the market. You have found a way to bring capital in, which is the king, cash is king, and you have found a way to bring cash into your portfolio, and you've been able to weather the downturn because you're bringing cash in against the downturn, writing call options and buying it back for less money. And this has allowed you to lower your cost averages, lower your margin balances, and keep them in control. And you haven't had the "you got to sell everything because you've lost everything" phone call from a broker. And am I happy? Oh, delirious. But reality is that a year and a bit ago, there were 100,000+ people here as subscribers. Today, there's 84,000 or so here, 83, 84,000. So even this channel has lost viewers because there were a lot of viewers on this channel, like every other channel, who were watching 5 or 6 of us at the same time. And they were all looking for the one trade that would make it all better. And it never happened. The one trade never came in. And they eventually got called out, had to bail out, and been sold out, and they're out of there. And now with 7 and 8% mortgages coming up and higher interest rates and everything else, they're not coming back into the market anytime soon because they're priced out of this game. You, as option writers, have found the answer to stick around here and to flourish and generate some revenues into your pockets. Way to go, everybody. Thank you all. For those of you who have stuck with me and kept on top of this. It doesn't matter what the bond market does. Doesn't matter what interest rates do, inflation, what the Fed says, what elections happen where. Option writers are going to keep making money. And if you write options correctly, and I try to keep you on the straight and narrow, the right path for this, you will continue to bring capital into your account. And a number of you who have decided to be full-timers, you're going to be able to become and remain full-timers. I sense that inflation is running rampant. Of course, it's over 10% now in the EU. We just heard today that the entire continent of Europe is running higher than 10% inflation. This is bad news because it's coming our direction as well. But the good news for you folks is that prices for certain things will come down. Housing prices will drop. Car prices are going to drop. Big ticket items are going to go on sale, as it were. And you folks are going to be strong cash flow people. You're going to be constantly generating good cash flows, which means you will be able to take advantage of some of these sales when they come your way because you have the liquid capacity to do so. Whereas folks that are working in a job somewhere where they get a 5% raise when inflation is 8 and 10%, they're stuck, they're trapped, they can't do anything, and they're not going to be able to enjoy the upside. They're going to just try to get by. They're just going to try to hang on, and this is where you guys are going to be the winners of the entire marketplace. But it takes discipline, it takes patience. You got to learn how to fold your arms sometimes, and you've got to be willing to learn and willing to absorb how to do this. And so congratulations all of you for your patience and your dedication to this craft, because this takes a bit of work. Thank you all so much for popping in here. It's good to have you. Those of you who have become subscribers of the channel, thank you. Those of you who have become members of the channel, mega thank you to you. You guys keep us on the air. It's as simple as that. There are so many channels out there who couldn't attract people to become members of their channel because the content just didn't work. And they eventually died because the revenue from YouTube to do this kind of a channel is pitiful. I don't even get $10 a day from YouTube to be here. The YouTube revenues that I generate are really tiny, and it's just a few shekels. There's nothing from YouTube here for us in any big way. If I had 100,000 of you watching and I ended up with 1 million views a day overall, sure, yeah, I'd make money. But that's not going to happen. This channel is so specialized and is so detailed in what we talk about. I will never attract 100,000 viewers to this channel. I mean, the fact that you're making money in this market as option writers still doesn't attract 100,000 viewers to this channel. And I have people say to me, I can't believe you haven't got more viewers. I've made all kinds of money watching you and following your advice and everything, and no one, there's hardly anybody here. I'm going, yeah, because what you're doing is so rare. You're the opposite side of what everyone else thinks about. And even if you try to explain it to your dearest, closest friends who trust you, they know you're an honest person. They know you're a hard worker. You're a good, you're a good egg. They look at you like you're crazy. So you're on your own. Many of you in your families, you're the only one in your family that does this, and everyone else is complaining about how the market is fixed. It's stacked against you. There's all kinds of shenaniganism going on, and you can't make money in the market. And you're sitting in the corner eating your pumpkin pie, going, "I make money in the market, but I'm not going to bother to tell these people because I've tried. Believe me, Bruce, I've tried to tell them. I'm not doing it anymore." And so there you go. Thank you all. Appreciate it. It's great that you're here. Thank you for those of you who are already throwing thumbs ups on this show. Again, so many of you, I don't even have to mention it. You just automatically give me a thumbs ups when we get going here. I really appreciate it. We've got 118 of them in here already. We're always going for 200 every day if we can. So thank you, everybody, for hitting the thumbs up button as soon as possible, because as soon as we hit 200 thumbs ups, the better. Just trying to get what I try to do with this is to tell YouTube's and artificial intelligence computers who measure view count versus thumbs ups count, just trying to tell the computers, this is a channel you should be promoting to others, because we have a lot of engagement, and I think it's a very good information source for people who are really curious. Well, just how do you write options, and how does that work, and how can I make money, and do I need $1 million to do this, or do I need $100,000 to do this, or can I, how much do I need to be able to do this, and how much can I really make with it, and should I invest in this, should I look into it? Boy, I hate my job. Is there a way I can become self-employed? If it was just a way, my wife and I could travel all the time and live off of our investment revenues. How can we do it? Well, maybe writing options is the way to do it. I kind of wonder, maybe. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for all the support. I'm just, beyond thrilled, to say the least. My daughter cannot believe it. She's in her 30s and can't believe her old father, her 67-year-old father, is a YouTuber with a following, and he makes a living off of it. She cannot, her friends are like, what? My mom and dad don't know how to turn on a computer. Your dad is a YouTuber with 2 channels, 2 of them? No, yeah, and they watch. And hi, friends of Jennifer Jr. How you guys doing out there? They can't believe it. And then when Jennifer and I, visit our daughter, and there's a couple of friends coming over, they go, "There's the YouTuber," and it's unbelievable. It's just, I get a kick out of it myself. Jen says, "Don't let it get to your head," and my daughter just goes, "Way to go, Dad! This is cool stuff." It's kind of funny because sometimes I'll ask her for some advice on social media and stuff, and she can't answer those questions. She says, I don't know. And I'm going, you're 34 or 35. You're just a kid. How come do I have to talk to a 15-year-old? I mean, who can answer some of these questions? It's quite amazing. Anyway, it's really cool. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. We have 141 thumbs ups now in the house. 20 minutes to go to the opening. We only need 59 more, and we've got 200 already, though. So thank you all for nailing the thumbs ups button. Help me out and get this thing going. Let's hit 200 as quickly as possible. It costs you nothing to throw a thumbs ups our way. I would really appreciate it if you could help us. That would be really nice of you. Thank you all for being here so far. Credit Savage, I taught my wife everything I learned from Uncle Bruce, and she writes covered calls monthly. And now my daughter's curious about stocks and options. She purchased her own Disney stock, DIS Disney. This is going to be generational. You gotta love it. Alberto, Uncle, I'm here. You can begin now. Good morning, Bagel Familia. Good morning, Alberto. Welcome to the party, pal. So much fun. Oh, this is good stuff. Thank you, everybody, for popping through here today. This is great. It's nice to see you. Let's just hope this market can give us some returns today. Well, it's going to be an interesting day here. We're only up 10 on the Dow now. We'll see what's going on. Let's see what else is going on here. I'm just looking at comments that have come in the last 10, 15 minutes to see if I've missed anything that I'm going to read to you. Most of you folks are talking to each other, which is great. Fantastic. Nice to see you. I did read this morning some more disturbing news about the housing market estimates, especially for Canada. Estimates are lower prices in Canada for another year. With higher rates, there's no way that they're going to stay up here. So we'll see what happens. Nick is saying, Alberto and Uncle Bruce, I'm going to lock in the profit on SoFi that I wrote 2 days ago. Good idea or not? Nothing wrong with picking off your SoFi shares. I mean, your contracts that you wrote against your SoFi shares. They dropped 41 cents yesterday to 4.84 a share. Obviously, those calls you wrote will have depreciated since you wrote them. So if you're picking them back off, way to go. You're definitely locking in some profits, and the percentage, I'm sure, is pretty healthy. Nothing wrong with that. What else is going on? Here's a headline that I predicted would come. Putin says Russia will defend the newly annexed regions by all available means. Whatever it takes, because this is now Mother Russia. You see, since we've declared this land to be Russian land, now we will defend it by all necessary means. You see, there you go. Okay. What if Ukraine just kind of goes in behind Russian lines and takes 20 miles of Russian territory on the other side of Ukraine, and then annexes that as Ukraine land, and then we got a strip of Russia, a strip of Ukraine, a strip of Russia, and then Ukraine. Maybe we could work a deal. I'll swap yours for mine, and then we'll go back to where we were. Yeah, crazy times. Alberto, Nick, a profit? Absolutely, lock in profits at all possible. I'm still talking about your SoFi, right? JP, JR, go on, take the money and run. That's it, baby. Rock and roll. Making money on SoFi. Welcome all of you to the show, the channel, the hopes, the dreams, the aspirations that we all have. I see GameStop in the pre-market now down 36 cents to 25.10. It was up at 25.75, I guess, this morning for a while, but it's now at 25.10, down 36 cents. So GameStop is dropping in the pre-market. Watch for that. Let's take a look over here on some other stuff. There we go. Let's see. Headline saying more bad news for house buyers. Mortgage rates march towards 7%, reaching highest level since 2007. They're going to go to 8%. We have a bank, we have a Fed Reserve meeting next month. Another 0.75% is coming, so we're going higher. EU area inflation hits 10% as electricity and natural gas prices soar. Brainerd says the Fed will not pull back from rate hikes, certainly not prematurely. This is what's going on. We got Rocket Lab up, I think, 1 penny at 4.17. SoFi is off half a penny. I think I'm seeing so many zeros behind the 0.00. I think it's down a penny maybe. GameStop down 36. AMC down 10 more cents. If you take the common and the preferred shares, they're off to another dime. Matterport off a penny. Matterport's up a penny. 23andMe is up almost 3 cents at 3.01 right now. Aspire, I think it's 110. I'm not sure. It might be down 4 cents. ATIP, I don't see a change. SmartRent, I think it's up 4 cents to 2.39. Cyxtera down 2 cents to 3.99. Apple is down $1 to 141.47. Goldman Sachs up 2.88 to $299. Cisco down 4 cents to 40.61. Tesla down 177 to 266.44. Any of you out there who have Tesla contracts that expire today, if you've written any 280s, they're probably worth virtually nothing. Pick them off, buy them for virtually nothing, get them for whatever they're, 15, 20, 25 cents, whatever that, and turn around and write 280s for, say, next week or the week after, and bring in some nice cash. You might even be able to write a 3-week out Tesla 280 and bring in like $15. And that's like selling your stock at 295. But that's out of the money substantially. But like I say, you can go 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever you are comfortable with, and enjoy depreciation. ARC Innovations is down 12 cents. Microsoft is up 59. We got Bed Bath Beyond down 4 cents to 6.15. Pfizer down a nickel. HBQ is up 6 to 25.10. Carvana down 68 cents. Twitter up 18. We got Google down 18 and Amazon down 43 cents. There we have it so far, and I see now the pre-markets are turning red now. We've got 13 minutes to go. We're down 49 on the Dow, 2 on S&P, down 18 on NASDAQ. That's what we're at. And oil off $1.02 to $80.21. GameStop 25.10, down 36 cents at the moment. There's our initial view of the pre-markets that what we're looking at right now. Okay. All righty, kids. Let's see what else. JR, you're too logical, Uncle Bruce. Careful about the logic tree. When you fall out, it hurts. Bobby, Uncle Bruce, I'd like to do some homework this weekend. Is there a bear market in history I should read up on? Bobby, every market is evolving. They're evolving all the time, and they change all the time. The markets that you'll probably find information on will be the most spectacular markets, rather than just good old boring whatever markets. This market here is let's say it this way. I can't recall a time in history where stock markets like ours and bond markets like ours have been so heavily impacted by central bank changes at lightning speed to the degree we've been hit with. And I can't recall inflation in the Western world, in the leading economies, take off as much as inflation has taken off for us just in the last year and a half. I mean, this is unprecedented stuff, and you're hearing that word, I'm sure, all over the place. And if you're younger than I am, and I think you are, as an adult, you've probably never seen this before. This is all new to you. Bear markets vary in degrees of severity. And the markets used to be a much slower place, as was the world itself. But now everything happens at light speed. It's absolutely insane. I mean, there was a time, I remember reading a story about an investor who was taking an ocean liner from New York to Southampton in London, and he was planning to visit friends and some business associates in the UK. And in those days, and this is way back in the 20s. In those days, you had a 5-day voyage crossing. So you get on a ship and you unpack in your room, and you're wearing a suit to dinner, and you have protocol during the day. You have first class passengers, second class, and so on. And the news that you got was sporadic. I mean, if you were a top-notch first-class customer and you were the president of a company that had operations in the US or the UK, you would receive telegrams from time to time because you were the head person, and so you'd get updates. But if you were, a VP or below, you didn't get any communication from anybody until you got off the ship in London. And really, you didn't crave any, because going onto the ship, you weren't holding a BlackBerry or an Apple iPhone, and you're not getting text messages, and there's no such thing as a fax, and no such thing as a phone in most people's lives, although in the 20s there were phones. But the story I read was of a gentleman who got on his ship in New York to go to London. And he was a millionaire. He was very wealthy. What he didn't realize, though, is when he got off the ship, and he had no messages back and forth during the 5 days. But when he got off the boat, the crash of 1929 had taken place, and the market had collapsed. Now, in those days, you want to talk about margin calls. Back in the 20s, through the 20s, right up to 29 and beyond, until rules were changed, people were able to go into a brokerage office and they could deposit $10 with their broker, and the broker would lend them $90, up to $90 to buy stock. And there were people buying AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph stock, with borrowed money, and 10 times as much. So some folks would have $1,000. Now they have $10,000. Some had $500. They have $5,000. People were owning thousands of dollars of stock that they didn't have the money to own. But if AT&T went up 10%, so the stock went up 10%, your portfolio went from $5,000 to $5,500. You only have $500 in there. You've just taken $500, turned it into $1,000. You'd sell that stock. You got $1,000 in your account now. Of course, the person buying from you is probably buying on margin themselves, and they think it's just going to go higher. You've taken you take your $1,000, and you now decide, I'm going to buy U.S. steel. And so you buy U.S. steel, 10 grand worth, because you have $1,000. It goes up 10%. Guess what? You've just made $1,000 profit on your $10,000 account. You sell that stuff, you got 2 grand in your account. Guess what you're doing now? You're now owning $20,000 of maybe AT&T again or something else. Well, this game continued until the game couldn't continue. And when the economy began to show weakness in 29, the market sensed it and people started to pull out. This guy on the boat landed in London, England, in Southampton. He was broke because the margin calls came in. He had been margined all the way up, and he had a couple $1 million in stock. The problem when you have a couple $1 million in stock at 90% margin is if your portfolio drops by 10%, 15%, or 20%, you are wiped out because you only have 10 cents on the dollar of your money in this deal. And the guy likely had everything he owned on margin as pledged collateral. So his house, his cars, his furniture, because he was a millionaire, he was a multimillionaire, everything was going great. Got to Southampton, found out he'd been sold out. His accounts have worthless, and he's got bills waiting for him when he gets back. He had a return ticket, so he came back and was bankrupt. And this is a fable story. Some folks swear it's true. Others say it could be true because the amount of speed with which the markets reacted wiped out millions of everything they had. So investors with $20, $50, $100, $1,000, $5 grand, whatever they had leveraged it like crazy. They lost it all, and they were paupers as far as the market is concerned. Carnival is saying they lost 65 cents a share for their third quarter versus $2.50 a year ago, by the way. Headline just coming through Carnival. What else? The consensus was they were only going to lose 11 cents, but they lost 65, by the way. So, Bobby, doing some homework this weekend. I'm not sure what I refer you to. I mean, there's some really interesting YouTube videos out there about the history of the stock market. There's a very good video out there about the crash in '87, the one-day crash where the Dow lost 22% in one day. There's an excellent video there that was done out of Chicago. It was from the perspective of the pits in Chicago, the futures pits, the bond traders and currency traders. Really good option traders were quoted in this thing. You can find that one. I think it's a 45-minute video. It might be worth your while. And it's on like a VHS tape kind of thing. It's not HD quality. You have to be patient, but fascinating because they talk to the actual guys on the floor who were doing it at the time. And I think this was done a couple of years after it happened. So they were still the same age as when it happened to them. So they had a pretty sharp memory about it. That might be worth a look. Okay. What else is going on here? Thank you all. DH, I'm number 150, by the way. Chris Evans, the 2008 market. Yuck, yuck. Very similar to this one. Greedy banks over leveraged. Yeah, I mean, there's some great shows. There were some great movies made on Netflix and elsewhere, HBO, about the 2009 financial crisis. That is excellent television. There are some really good shows made with a bunch of actors who played all the roles of Geithner and the head of the Federal Reserve and the president and Pelosi and all the bankers, because the Democrats controlled the House, the Republicans had the White House, and this nasty surprise showed up. And Paulson, I think Paulson was the head of the Fed. It was Bernanke was the head of the Fed. Paulson was head of the Treasury, and they had to go to the Congress for $700 million in emergency funding to save the United States banking industry. And they had to get Nancy Pelosi to sign off on it. And the irony of it all was Nancy Pelosi signed off on it immediately, but they couldn't pass it through the Senate, Republicans, and they were having trouble getting the White House to come on board. I mean, it's just the opposite. It was the bizarrest thing. The Republicans were resisting the bailout, and the Democrats are going, well, we have to do this, otherwise the United States collapses financially. And no one gives Pelosi credit for it at all, because there's such a hate on for her. It's so amazing. Spicy, I'm learning that I have to leave some powder in my bag to do rollovers. I've been using Robinhood to do it for me, but I keep putting me behind every time. You cannot do rollovers with market orders. I will mention this to all of you. I don't know if Spicy, if you got caught on this or not, but let's just say you want to buy back some calls and then write some other calls. Do not repeat, never, ever, do not use the rollover feature that Robinhood has, Fidelity has, Schwab has, E-Trade, any of these guys. You cannot do their rollover button thing. You have got to buy the calls back first, then sell the other calls as a separate second transaction. Do not do rollover button turnovers. You will get annihilated on the bid and ask on each side of those trades. It'll cost you thousands of dollars in losses. Do not repeat. Do not do that. I'm hoping that got through. JR, so Uncle Bruce, on my options that I will let die reach expiry, do I have to close out those, say, at 5 cents? No, you don't have to. But I say if your options are down to 5, 10, 15 cents on the second or third day, even before Friday or Friday morning, buy them back first thing in the morning and write your new contracts for next Friday now. Get the time premium for today into this contract for next week. You're giving away way more money than getting the last nickel or dime or whatever it is. Brian, Chris Everett Wall Street, this one is going to be worse than 08. We're about to open. Thank you, everybody. Alberto, Spicy has some strugglers, 10, 20 cent extra shares that you could sell if you need powder. Coyote, morning all. Happy Friday. Alberto, Coyote, what are you scoping out? What stock are you going to snipe today? Thank you, Alberto. Dude, JR, if you're out of the money, I find it clears out automatically on the brokerage I use. If you're in the money, you get executed. Credit service. Oh, yeah, it's going to be glorious. I've seen this stock market movie before, but didn't have enough money since then. I was just trying to react. This time I've been proactive, and I will be dumping dough in. Alberto, Spicy anytime. Mirko, hopefully not executed, but exercised. They are out of the money, says JR. Dude, that's right. Miraculous. Got to be honest, starting to feel like a bag holder on SOF. I tried to DCA down, but it seems like I just leveraged losses. Too low to write against, too much loss to sell, feel trapped. That's about when they turn around. When you start to feel like that, that's about when they turn around and go much, much higher. Might be like the day after you sell out. The day after you throw in the towel, that's when the stock turns around, because they were just waiting for you to leave. It's scary, but can I say? We're opening and we're down 87 points. We're up and running. I think we're going on the Dow. We're down 87 to start the day. Welcome one, welcome all to the party, pal. We are here and we're trying to get things running. I've got GameStop at 24.86, I believe, down 59 cents right now. I think that's what we're showing. There we go. There we have it. And we'll just do that. I'm trying to get my biggest iPad to wake up and smell the flowers. Here it is. Yeah, we're down 52 on the Dow. down 64 on GameStop. Welcome. Let's see. There's something satisfying about watching a contract die worthless. I hear you there. But time is money. And if a contract is down to 15, 20 cents on Wednesday or Thursday, buy them back and write new contracts for next week, Friday, and get 2-3 extra days of money, time money. You might get 30 cents a contract more by writing on Wednesday than writing on the next Monday. And all you're going to get is 10 or 15 cents from the contract you have. Forget that. Take the 30, 40 extra cents and write further down. Get going. Oh my. Brian, lots of people are writing on SoFi. You just need to have a lot of SoFi. It's Larry. Good morning from chilly Brooklyn, New York. How you doing, Larry? JR, I haven't done it before, but this is the time to fold the arms and watch. Hey, Larry from JR. Hi, Larry. Are you having fun over in New York? Black Monday. That's a good one. I was 6 years old, says Credit Savage. Too Big to Fail on HBO. That's a good show. Yeah, get going. We are up and running. I appreciate it. Let's see. Larry, there we are. Thank you, Larry. Says JR, Beach Boy, Too Big to Fail. Boiler Room, The Laundromat, Margin Call, The Smartest Guys in the Room, Wall Street, Rogue Trader, Arbitrage, Barbarians at the Gate, all kinds of titles. Brian, DH, apparently this is the worst of the three that are out. Paints retail investors as bad guys and hedge funds, banks as heroes. No good. Margin Call was actually awesome. I had to watch it twice. Margin Call is an excellent movie if you want to see the inner workings of a brokerage firm when they realize they are upside down. Oh man, that is really good. I highly recommend. Let's see what else is going on. Berkshire bought another 5.9 million shares of Occidental. Yep, there it is. Okay, we are open. We're down 57 on the Dow. We've got I'm looking at Biogen at 262, down $2. Apple up down 7 now. Where are we at now? We got Apple down 14, pardon me. We've got GameStop down 46 cents, sitting at $25. SoFi up 1.5 to 485.5. Rocket Lab down 3. HPQ up 28. AMC is and the Ape shares are off 25 cents. ME up a penny. Matterport down 3.5. ATIP down 4. SmartRent down 4. Spire down a penny. Cyxtera up down 4. Bed Bath Beyond down 6 cents. Tesla down 99 cents, 267. Pfizer up 14 cents. Boeing down 99 cents. Cisco up 19. Twitter up 54. Home Depot down 139. Carvana down 87. Robinhood up 7. Bannock down 6 cents. IBM up 73. Microsoft up 226. Goldman up down 80, Google up 35, Amazon down 38, Meta up 2. I mean, it's a mix, but back, forward. One's up, one's down, one's up, one's down. 225 loss on Royal Caribbean to 41.39. Carnival down $1 to 8.16 today. That news coming out on Carnival, not great. Let's see. JP Morgan up 32, Target down 450, Costco down 182. Disney down 99 cents to $96. Moderna up 175 to 119. Nvidia is up 79 cents right now. American Airlines down 6 to $12.18. There you are. There's a quick recap of some of these that we follow. Down 78 on the Dow, down 3 on S&P. NASDAQ is up 0.8 of a point. Nothing happening here. We're down 3 now on NASDAQ, and the Dow's off 101. So we're negative here. Oil down 92 cents. There it is. There it is right there. Okay. Credit Savage, the Margin Call was awesome. I had to watch that movie twice. Let's see. Credit Savage, Uncle Bruce, the institutional investors for SoFi are now 68. I think that's the largest yet. The more people sell, the more new institutions start taking a position. This should tell us something. Be patient. Interesting. Brian, DH, interesting. I might have to check up and see for myself. Either way, I believe the movie was produced by the son of one of the top guys for BlackRock. Can't be a great movie for retail. Well, it is certainly all about institutional trading. It is not about retail traders. This margin call is an institutional type thing, but you should see it. Really, you should. There's a lot of side stories going on, but yeah, it's interesting. Wheat Wild, thank you, Wheat Wild, for this donation here. 15, I think that's shekels. Uncle Bruce, I own 10 AVCT December 16, 50-cent calls. AVCT announced a 1 for 15 reverse stock split effective October the 3rd. How will this affect my 10 contracts, please? That's a good question. I am not going to be able to answer that off the top of my head. But obviously, for every 15 shares somebody has, they now have one. For every 15 contracts, you now have one. But you have 10. And I don't know how this is going to play out. I don't know what the Chicago, guys are going to do. In theory, your $50 or 50-cent calls should go up by a factor of 15. So those should be now 750 calls, in theory. And of course, the question is, what will the stock trade at once this is done? And a week after it's done, what will the stock do? That's the next question. Usually when they do these kinds of rollbacks on stocks that are in trouble, which obviously this one is, they may find that they try to get the market going 15 times higher, but it slumps by 20, 30% within the first month. Because again, it's a desperation move to try to stave off elimination. If this company has been able to raise capital by doing this move at the same time, in other words, all existing shareholders are down to 1/15 of what they used to have, and now a buyer is coming in to buy 5 million shares from the treasury at $5 a share or something like that. So the company gets a bunch of dough, but the problem is, and the reality is that the shareholders who were shareholders yesterday only have 1/15 of the interest they have then now. And so the new buyer buying 5 million shares, the old holders might only have 5 million shares combined. There might be 75 million shares out now, and with a rollback, there's 5 million shares, and now the company's going to sell 5 million shares. So there's 10 million out, and one guy has 5 of them, and he's the new guy, and he's taking over. But hey, 5 million is in the jackpot. 5 million bucks is in the account. The company's paying its bills. Otherwise, it would have been gone, delisted, defunct, nothing. So you get a candy. You get a piece of candy or watch me eat it. What do you want? I don't know. Wheat Wild, this is a question I can't answer off the top of my head. I just don't know what the option procedure is going to be. I certainly expect the company to announce it, or the Chicago Board of Trade to declare what's going to happen here when this all is effective on the 3rd of October. So I don't know. But obviously, if you had 10, you don't even have one now. You have like 2/3 of a contract. What do you think it's going to be worth? Nothing, almost nothing, near nothing. I don't know. But you're not getting rich, I'm sorry to say, on this one, but it's interesting to see these. W. Walters, did anyone anybody watch the GameStop Eat the Rich on Netflix? Thought I'd do a weekend binge watch. I haven't. Brian, Uncle Bruce, we're talking about the new documentary, GameStop, although Margin Call is on my list to watch. Thanks. DH, I enjoyed the documentary. Silly memes through the whole thing taken from Wall Street Bets on Reddit. Sounds like entertainment. Credit Savage. SoFi is about to touch the 52-week low, 479. I got it at 484 at the moment. The low trade today, 481 on 2.5 million so far. Got the Dow off 193, 262 on Biogen, down $2. Apple down 174. GameStop down 72 cents to 24.74. The low and the high for GameStop today, 24.61 the low, the high 25.20, about an 80-cent range, and we're at 24.74, down 72 cents right now. Okay. Let me get this going here. There we go. Okay, we're down over 200 on the Dow now. We're down 24 on S&P, and NASDAQ down 56, about 2/3 of a point, give or take. All right. All righty. What do we got here? Oil down 68 cents. All righty. Where else we at? Deuce Caboose. Day 2, SoFi closes under 5. On day 9, there will be a reverse stock split, and down she goes, he thinks. Number 170, thumbs up. Brian, Wall Street Bets hasn't been involved with GameStop for over a year. There was a point you couldn't even mention GameStop on Wall Street Bets, and you would be banned. Wall Street Bets is a joke. It's all loss porn, haha. Dude, whatever happened to the doc they were making on the GameStop that Uncle Bruce got interviewed for? Did that happen or did I dream that? I have never heard a thing about it. No one's ever contacted me about it. Lame Duck, 171. DH, W. Walter, short squeeze and plain memes. Brian, super stonk is where you want to be. All the good DD, due diligence, DRS, and feel good info. Nazareth, $2.50 drop on the market in 5 minutes. Let's see if we get support at this 3,600 level. We're talking about the S&P you're talking about. Credit Savage, the only movie we need to watch about Wall Street is Trading Places, and that's it. Lame Duck, Margin Call is on Netflix right now. Brian Unglebers, I watched a cool video last night discussing the market turmoil, where it came from and where we might be going. It's very informative. I thought to myself, I have heard all this somewhere before. Where have I heard everything about this information, about this whole thing, where some homeless guy in a nondescript hotel room in Calgary, what? Christina, 24.55 on GameStop, down 91 cents. Alex, somebody bought a load of HBQ at the open, 25.20, up 16 cents. Maybe our friends, Mr. Buffett. Maybe they're buying more. Remember, they bought a ton at 38.39, like $4.1 billion worth. Maybe they're buying more now. I don't know. Maybe. Would consumer index be a market mover? It can be. It depends. We'll see. Michael Deuce, is there paperwork on that or just a guess? Lame Duck, Rise of the Players Game. Lame Duck, Gaming Wall Street. Beach Boy watched another GameStop movie. Can't remember the title. Quite interesting. They talked a lot about the original apes and a few, even more the Reddit crowd joined the movement. Yeah, no one talked to me about the video I made in June of 2020 on GameStop. No one's ever contacted me about that. A lot of you have mentioned it to me about how I mentioned the short position of the company at the most shorted stock on Wall Street, and more shares shorted than exist and all that stuff. But no one ever contacted me about that. Guyoni, another good investment film is Gremlins 2. There you go. Deuce, Michael, if it closes under 5 for 10 consecutive days, then it's reclassified as a penny stock and pension funds must sell. That's why they voted for the reverse stock split election. So there's something interesting to think about. 483 on SoFi. Isn't that interesting? Beach Boy, they also got a short seller that opposed the other short funds. Nazareth, market-wide buying back to the level it dropped from. Kangaroo Market. Christina, I'm putting in a stink bid to buy back my 2724s that expire next Friday. Lame Duck, Money's All Belief 2-part HBO. Christina, way to go. Hey, way to go. 24.55 on GameStop, down 91 cents. We're at the new lows here, new lows of the day. 24.44 is the low of the day right now for GameStop. 24.55, 24.59 is what we're sitting at right now. The Dow off 191. I got S&P down 11, NASDAQ down 9. Although I think my big ass iPad might even be wrong on this. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get this to stay updated and it's not working well. I don't know what it is. 24.55 on GameStop. SoFi 483 down a penny. Rocket Lab 411. Down 4.6 cents. HBQ 25.20 up 16 cents on 3.7 million so far. Seems to be the volume. I'll double check that and see if that changes. I'm waiting for the circle of death to update that quote. 24.71 on GameStop right now. All right. What's the difference between a recession and a depression in your opinion? How would you like Ronald Reagan's opinion on that? Ronald Reagan made a speech and talked about a depression and a recession. He said a recession is when your neighbor gets laid off, or a relative of yours, that gets laid off. A depression is when you get laid off. That's what his opinion is of a depression. There you go. I think a recession is 2 quarters of negative growth. A depression could be like a year of negative growth. I don't know. Okay, now HBQ. Here we go. We don't have 3.7 million. We have 386,000 traded here in 16 minutes, and we're sitting here right now. Okay, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't even comment on this. My phone isn't even giving me the right number, so I don't know what HBQ is doing. Do you know what HBQ is doing? Because my phone has gone cuckoo. So has my big ass iPad. Lame Duck Trading Places is a great movie. You can count on that. Absolutely right. Down 115 on the Dow right now. Biogen 261.80 down 240. 262.50 down 170. Apple down 150, I think, at 140.97. GameStop 24.55 again, down 91. I think is what I see. 25.20 on HBQ, I believe. All right, let's see what's going on. Breaking news: Chicago PMI, producer manufacturer index, falls sharply to 45.7 in September, lowest level since June 2020. Nike and Walt Disney are leading the markets lower. Nike apparently is admitted they're sitting on $9.5 billion of inventory. All the Nike brand inventory they own right now, 9.4 billion of it. And guess what? They're going to have a sale. No kidding. A little overstocked right now. Yeah. Now I see the Dow down 190. I'm not sure which is accurate. I've got I got my biggest iPad saying the market is down 92 points. And then Yahoo Finance had it at 190. Now it's at 92 again. We're just getting goofy quotes here. Really strange. I'm looking good, Billy Ray. Right on. Deuce, we're already in a recession, but someone changed the definition. I'm not sure why. Dude, got some SoFi at 41. Yes, please, and thank you, Karim. Please repeat the comments about SoFi and the days for penny stock. Beach Point. Yeah, GameStop, rise of the players. That's the one. Dude, caboose. It's interesting how they did that. Michael, that's like 4 pairs of Jordans. There you go. Yeah, that's interesting. Sell my house fast enough for Marlboro. Deuce Caboose. Yeah, I think that they can change widely accepted truths to get elected. They think that if they shout a lie out loud enough for long enough time, it becomes true. Yeah, well, there you go. There you are right there. Now, my big ass iPad says the market's down 174 points. And Yahoo Finance on my phone says it's down 97 points. So there's a slight, deviation between one quote service and another. And I'm sitting here going, what? What? Too loud? What? Crazy. 24.53 on the GameStop. It looks like 24.53. That's what I think it looks like. Now I think both markets are accurate. Down 170. I think we're accurate. Both are saying the same thing. 24.50 on GameStop, down 96 cents. 4.86 on SoFi, up 2.5. There it is. That's what I got. Where we're going. Karim, cognitive dissonance. Distance. Christina, my stink of 157 just hit. I got him back. Nice going, Christina, making money. JR, yeah, we saw that lie thing work out in 2020. Still having issues with the big lie. Sell my house. They think we need taking care of. Do we? I say nay. And Christine, now I'll wait for a pop. Dude, this is not a recession. It's a pre-session. Sell my house is saying neat. 170 is the drop on the Dow. And 24.50 to 24.60 or so is GameStop. That's what we see at the moment. We're up 4 cents on SoFi to 4.88. 25.30 on HBQ, up a quarter. And then Deuce Caboose, a friendly reminder, 100 million or so came in SoFi deposits this week. Again, there you go. Not a failing outfit, is it? No, it's not a failing outfit. Thank you all for being here. 269 of you are here. 180 thumbs ups have come in. I'm going to throw up some of these knee emojis and see if that will help us get some thumbs ups. Hit the thumbs ups button for us and hit some knee emojis. Let's go. Let's get going. Beach Boy, well, how come you still use that big ass iPad, but you haven't had a bagel in months? I mean, what's that all about? Brian, I have a stinky stink bid for my 14 October GameStop 27s for 65 cents. I sold for 165. The bid right now is at 95. Right on. Just sit there. You might want to go 66 bid, 1 penny higher. JRP. JR is hitting the knee emojis. Brian's hitting the knee emojis. Matterport is up on my options. I sold her flat. We're going down, says sell my house. Thank you for the knee emoji, sell my house in Upper Marlboro. If you can write a lot of covered calls, like 40 on SoFi, do you recommend writing all 40 for the same thing or spreading out the love? I'd probably write them all in one shot and keep it simple. If you can write a lot of covered calls, yeah, we did that. I always wanted to knee with everyone. How I've got goosebumps, says Brian. Yeah, it's a big deal, says JR. Dude is throwing up the knee emoji. So is Beach Boy. Thank you, everybody. We got 181 thumbs ups. We need 19 more thumbs ups to get to 200. I'm going to keep doing knee emojis until I get 200 emojis, 200 thumbs ups. I'm not going to stop. So you guys either give me 200 thumbs ups or you're going to just see knee emojis for the rest of the day. Your choice. It's up to you. You can end this anytime you want. Just give me a thumbs up. I'm holding you hostage. It's kind of like Putin. You know, I had a vote in the territory that I've conquered militarily, and all the soldiers that are there voted to annex the property into my country, and so that's what we're going to do. And now we're going to defend it with our lives. Oh, by the way, you soldiers who voted for this, you have to defend this with your lives now. Okay. Jen Doe and Bill, thank you for the knee emojis. 189 thumbs ups. I'm not stopping until I get 200 thumbs ups. I'm not stopping until I get 200 thumbs ups. I need 200 thumbs ups. Wavy Gravy and Bill agree. If you agree with this, hit the knee emojis. Nazareth, if you guys agree I should get 200 thumbs ups, hit the knee emojis. Tell the world. Ergo Farmerless, 191. I need 9 more thumbs ups. Keep them coming, kids. I need 8 more. I got 192. I'm putting up those knee emojis. There's just no stopping this. 7 to go. I need thumbs ups. I need them now. Wavy Gravy, thank you. Thumbs ups, thank you. You guys are great. Jen, hi there, Beach Boy. 196. We need 4 more thumbs ups, and then I'll stop knee emojiing for a while. JR is throwing them up there. 198 are in. We only need 2 more thumbs ups. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for getting me to 200 thumbs ups. I knew I could count on you. I knew it. Just a little blackmail's all it took. You guys are great. There it is. 201. Okay, I got to stop thumbs ups. I got to stop my knee emojis. Thank you, everybody. 201 thumbs ups have come through. Splair's giving me thumbs ups and knee emojis at the same time. He's awesome. The man just won't stop. Mirko's throwing volcanoes and apes and all kinds of stuff. Diamonds. I mean, it's unbelievable. Big party under the bridge tonight, says Michael. Spicy Android. Neat. There you go. 206 people are going, please stop, Bruce. Please stop with the knee emojis. You're killing me. I can't take it anymore. Please. Stuart Von Stein. Thank you, Stuart Von Stein, for a PayPal donation. It just clicked in here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're a good man. I appreciate it. Thank you all so much for helping out this poor homeless YouTuber sitting in a nondescript secret location under protection. Down 121 on the down now. Now we're down 47. Believe that? Yeah, we're down 47. We're down 350 on Biogen, the 260.75. Apple 142.45, down 3 cents. GameStop 24.91, down 55. SoFi 4.91, up 7 cents. Rocket Lab 420, up 4. HPQ 25.38, up 33. HPQ volume 575,000. It's not heavy volume. It's just, it's good. AMC 694, down 16. Ape down 12. So they're down 28 more cents. ME up 1.5. Matterport up 5.5. ATIP down 0.5 penny. Smart Rent down 2. Spire down 1 penny. Cyxtera down 4.5. Tesla is down $2.50. Tesla is now sitting at $270.79. Actually, up $2.50. $258. Tesla $270. Pfizer up 4. Boeing down 63. Cisco up 19. Twitter up 65. Home Depot up 52. Make it 65. Carvana up 6. Robinhood up 16. Vanik Vectors is down 14 cents to 187.76. IBM down 18 cents. We got Microsoft up $1.70. Goldman up 1/4. Google up 4 cents, Amazon down 46. So this is a nothing burger day here. We're only down 26 now on the Dow. It really doesn't know where to go for sure, but it will go lower eventually. And I don't know who wants to hold stock through this weekend. I have no idea who would want to do that. Again, thank you, everybody. Nick, I have shorted Biogen at 262.33. Nike is short at 83.75. I covered SoFi. Hope I score some today. There you go. And a 261 on the Biogen. So he's ahead $1, almost $1 on the Biogen. And Nike, I'm not sure what the score is on Nike. I don't have the quote here on my computer, but he shorted at 83. Nick, if we nomads all went to the corner of Siberia and then voted to annex that corner of the world, would Putin respect our vote? Seems that votes are pretty important to him. JR, hey, if you feed, hey, IB, you feed of comments stop working on the screen. Deuce Caboose is stuck there. Uncle Bruce. I think JR saying, hey, Uncle Bruce, your feed of comments stopped working on the screen. I think that's what's being said. I think, but it looks like we're back here. Alberto, I'm bringing the whole Henny back to business. Perfect. Nazareth, okay, now for 2 months of therapy to handle all the knees. Mirko, kind of like playing Yoko, you know. Brian, Bruce, you aren't for the new Truth and Reconciliation Day. I'm here working. You know, the Truth and Reconciliation Day is that I'm working. That's my truth and reconciliation. So, you know, I'm doing what I can. Don't we start drinking early on Mighty? The dude wants to know. Michael C. Under the Bridge. Jan Doe. I miss Yoko. Deuce. I dream of the day when I log into my account and SoFi isn't going down. There we go. What's up? 7.9 cents. Dream's over. Back to reality. It's good times. It's all good times. 24.94 down 52 on GameStop. A little recovery here. Congratulations for those of you who picked up some stink bids today on GameStop. Dow's up 13 points. Biogen, though, is at 260.83. It's down. Arnica Deuce, that is a big deal. Some for my grandson, Beach Boy. Where's Henry? Mirko, it's 4 p.m. somewhere. Oh, it's 4 p.m. where I live. Okay, start drinking, everybody. Jendo, what are y'all writing in SoFi? I've been distracted by the Weather Channel and the hurricane. Well, people were writing 5s and 6s earlier this week, but the stock kind of came all the way down here to 480s, 490s, and they're buying them back now. Spicy, I went out to the 1021 for 3 GameStops for 163. Right on. FL, SoFi is now officially a penny stock. Constantine, Uncle, should we write 2650s, 27s for the next week or lower on GameStop? Well, 24.94, we're approaching 25. So if the stock wants to break through 25, you may be looking at 26s, 26 and a halves, or 27, something like that for at least 1 week, maybe 2. If you're going to go 2 weeks out, 27s, 1 week out, 26s, 26 and a halves. Mirko, Beach Boy, somewhere in the river with the Crocs. That's where Henry is. Can we talk a third person with English ski? Deuce, you have a dream. That's nice, says Beach Boy. JR, one would like to do that, Deuce. Michael, Jendo, not a good time to write SoFi, in my opinion. Brian, Spicy, I would like the $1.50 to $2 premiums on GameStop. Beach Boy, Mirko, is that the one the Ukrainians pushed the orcs from? JR working now. Spicy, I would like that too. Brian, Coyote snagged one of my GameStop calls back in a bid during its dip, getting ready to write again. Nice. It could have been too, JR, that you hit a bunch of knee emojis and then you were timed out for like 30, 40 seconds before you could message again. That can happen too. Jen Doe, thanks. Michael, Mirko, Beach Boy. I think so. Laugh out loud. Nick, folks, you have, if you have moolah, you should really short Biogen. Why? It has gone up almost $80 on the hype of a drug, which has not been revenueized yet, and all analysts are touting buy. That means they want bag holders. Coyote, I wrote 5s and 5.5s, but buying them back yesterday and today on SoFi, right? Right on. Biogen 260.05. 260.05. Way to go, Nick. You're making money. Apple down 4 cents. GameStop 24.92 down 54. The Dow is plus 4 points, just kind of flatlining right now. We're not going anywhere here. Karen, I bought 100 more shares of SoFi, so now I'll be one of those holding shares through the weekend. Oh no, Jen. Thanks, Coyote. Kareem, Uncle Bruce, I transferred my assets from another broker where I had an asset manager. Let's just say I got a nasty email from him, now on standby for the transfer to clear. How lovely to get such a parting message from an asset manager who's sorry to see you go. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to see you go. Deuce Caboose, I wrote I wrote 10 Rocket Lab contract yesterday. I wrote a $10 Rocket Lab contract. I collected $1,000 in premium and bought 1,000 more Spire. So Rocket Lab will now go up and Spire will crash. Mark my words. I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. 257 on Biogen. It's dropping fast, Nick. Way to go, Nick. Make thousands today. Apple down 50 cents and GameStop down 48. Very interesting. The Dow now down 69 points. SoFi is at 486, up 2.5 cents. Rocket Lab at 417, up a penny, believe it or not. Deuce Caboose. Kareem, I'm more like, sorry, they can't take any more of my money. That's right. Nick, I am up almost 15 grand in potential profit, Nick is saying already. Way to go, pal. 257.50, and it's down 676. 70, almost a 70-point drop on the Dow. 75 now, actually. Oil down 140 a barrel, 79.84. We're under 80 again on oil. Psychological barrier broken there. Down 74 on the Dow. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. kind of fun, isn't it? Yes, it is. It is kind of fun. Let's take a look at this. There we go. Nike, there we go. Nike down 1109 at 84.24. What did Nick short that for again? What did he do? I just have to go back in my comments here and see if I can find it. Nick shorted Nike and he shorted Biogen. There we go. At 83.75. It's 84.17. What the hey? Hey, Nick, it's going the wrong way. Hopefully it'll turn around for you. It's been as low as 82.50. Still trading at 22 times earnings, and that's not going to hold. It's going to be lower than that eventually. Interesting, sir. Very interesting. Nike and Biogen, the latest moves by Nick on the short side. GameStop, $25 on the nose right now. There we go. And there we have it. We're done. The Dow off 74. Nike 84.22. Biogen 257.64. Let's hope Nick makes just a ton of money. There you go. Congrats, everybody. Let's move forward to the comments that are out now. Here we go. Deuce Caboose, I got my Aspire average down to under 4. It's a bit of an uphill battle. Beach Boy. So Uncle Bruce, my GameStop October 21s, 26.25s written for 208. What should be a nice stink bid for these? October 21s, 26.25s with the stock at 25.07. Out of the money. Let's take a look here. October 21s. Let's see. What are they showing right now? 26.25. All right. They're 155 bid, 175 offered. They're down $1.09 today, which is always nice. And if the shares were to drop 50 more cents, they'd be down to that 140 range. If the stocks went down $1, the shares went up, they'd be down to 110. So the question is there more downside and how much today? That's always the question. 25.08 at the moment is where we're at. Yeah, you sold them at 208. I mean, if you can get them today at 106, beautiful. I don't like your chances, though. I mean, 155. I mean, it's not like you need a massive drop in the contract. But to get a 50-cent drop in the contract, you're going to need the stock to drop probably $1.50 to get it. Your biggest weapon is the clock. It's going to make you money. And obviously Monday, Tuesday of next week, if the stock's sitting around here, it'll give up another 15, 25 cents just on depreciation without you having to do a thing. Then a dip after that, boom, 80 to $1, right? But look, 106, you get lucky today, great. Grab it and write something else, right? Why not? Dow's down 33, by the way. 258 on that Biogen, 142.12 on Apple, down 35. GameStop 25.16 on a slight recovery attempt here, with the stock having been as low as 24.44 and as high as 25.20. We're just at the highs almost on GameStop today. So I would just sit back, Beach Boy, let GameStop try a little rally or another dip. 106, if you want to put an order in, you get lucky, you get lucky. Somebody wants to sell at market, calls because they need money. You're the only call they can hit. You get calls. Maybe you get them below where you should get them from. Nice, right? Why not? Okay. Very good, very good. Okay, 25.11 on GameStop. Dow's down 34 points. All right. Michael says, work ski getting in Mikey's way today. FL, who's going out there buying 10 Y at 33.5 when you have 2 at 4.1? I have no idea what's going on here. Brian, all right, got to take my son to speech lessons. Thanks for the morning words of wisdom, Bruce. We'll see you this afternoon. Right on, Brian. Deuce, Michael, someone has to do it. Nick, I have shorted more Nike now. My average is 83.79. 83.71 on Nike. Right on, sir. I'm just writing that down so I don't forget it. And we're at 84.84. So it wouldn't take much for Nick to be in the money already. Olivia, bought back my first GameStop covered call for a $45 profit while it was hanging in the 24s. You've got this. Oh, right on, Olivia. Easy, buddy. Christina, Nick, you got into Nike. You got into Nike and Biogen. Biogen is 259, down 470. Nike 84.72. The Dow down 81, taking another dip here right now. Taking another dip. Apple down 86 cents. GameStop 25.11, racking off a little bit here. SoFi still up 4.9 cents to 488.9. Olivia, way to go. Making money in the market. You could probably write a new call on GameStop now. If you bought back your one covered call, you could probably write a new one. Maybe you could write a 26 for next Friday, something like that. That might bring you in some dough. 26 could bring you about, I'd offer it at 82 cents. See if you get lucky and get taken out at 82. And then look to buy it back at 21, 26, something like that. Another $60. Thank you very much. And right again. Rinse and repeat. Olivia, I'm hanging with the big boys now. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're with the big boys now. Giddy up. All right. Love it. Not bad at all. Nike, trying to recover. It's at 85.34, down 9.99. It's at its high of the day. Right there, 85. It's down 9.99, and that's the high of the day, 85.34. Biogen 258.94, down 5.34. The low today, 250 something. It was lower than this. Right now, 258.94. My highs and lows are not working properly on my phone, so that's why I'm looking so confused. Okay, I wrote another 25.5 for next Friday. Oh, that's okay too. 25.5 for next Friday. 88 to 99. Right on. Okay, Nick, I locked in 12 grand on my first short on Biogen. Rock and roll, pal. On your way to $100,000 day, right there. Thanks, Uncle Bruce. 106 stink bid is loaded, locked and loaded. Happy to buy it back. Come on down to Papa. There we go. Giddy up. All right. Nick, now waiting for the second short opportunity. Yes, let the market go up and then hit it again. Where did I hear that quote from? Hit it again. I know where that quote's from. Ho, ho, ho. JR, Nick, you the bomb, man. Use the bomb. Use bees, the bombsies. 61 point drop on the Dow. Nike at 85.06, Biogen at 259.19, 59.48, Apple 141.73 down 75, GameStop 25.22, 25.11. Watching this market here. What is it going to do? Okay, 25.28 right now on GameStop. We're off half a point on S&P, and we're up 25 on NASDAQ. These three indexes have been everywhere, just plus or minus, third of a percentage point. They've just been fluctuating, but they're not setting a pattern. They're trying to figure out what to do, but I don't think they're going higher. We're down 62 cents on oil, back to 80.61 on oil. Okay. Alrighty. SoFi, hey, look at the SoFi, 493. It's up 9 cents. SoFi, 493, up 9, 6.1 million. Will it break 5 today and be back over the penny stock territory? How's that going to play? FedEx was supposed to be the canary in the coal mine, but the pundits talked about it for 2 days and dropped it. Then Apple came out with the bad news, and it too will be forgotten by Monday. Exactly. When FedEx doesn't deliver, Apple isn't delivering, and the bond market is shaky, we got a lower market. I don't care how you want to sugarcoat this, but let the networks ignore it at their peril, because, oh my gosh, we're going lower. No doubt about it. No way are we not going to go lower. The Dow off 70 now. Just a sell program just came through. Okay. GameStop 25.18, backing up just a tad. The high of the day 25.36. It looks like that's as high as GameStop got. 25.36, and that may have been in the last 10 minutes, but it's definitely backed up here. About 18 cents. 578,000 volume. Not even 150,000 pre-split. I mean, this is really, really quiet. Down 88 on the Dow again. A little pullback coming in here. Nike 84.84. Come on down to Nick. Come to Nick. Nike, come down to Nick. 25.10 on GameStop. Another pullback. Okay. Yeah, Carnival down 19%. Bad news at Carnival today. The numbers are awful, and they're going to stay awful. They're going to be awful at Norwegian. They're going to be awful at Royal Caribbean for a long time. Really bad. And interest rates going higher on interest. If mortgages are 7%, and you know what you have to do to get a mortgage. I mean, what do you have to offer your banker to get a freaking mortgage now? It's unbelievable the amount of assets and cash flow you have to deliver. Think about Carnival going to the bond market to try to raise money. 15, 18% interest, they're going to want an arm and a leg from Carnival. They're not going to trust them with a 5% loan. Not a chance. Going to be ugly. Just going to be ugly. Down 89 on the Dow now. Down 2 on S&P. Okay. We got oil at down 71 here at 80.49. NASDAQ still up 23 points. Slight gain on NASDAQ. Slight gain. Cheers, everybody, from around the world to your buddy Uncle Bruce's house, a nondescript secret hiding place in Calgary. I welcome you all to the show. By the way, if any of you want to have a one-on-one, I'm available Sunday, either at noon Eastern time or 2 p.m. Eastern time. Those are the two openings I have. If any of you would like to do a one-on-one session with me, send me a private email and just fire it here to brucefarmer@hotmail.com and just let me know, hey, Bruce, I'd love that 12 o'clock slot, or I'd love that 2 o'clock slot. We'll get you set up for your own private one-on-one this weekend. Sunday at Eastern time, 12 and 2 o'clock Eastern time. If you'd like a one-on-one, and we'll go over your account, your trades, your strategy, talk to you about your career, what's happening in the fam, what's what's happening in your career, what's happening in your world around you. Whatever you want to know about. I'll do the best I can. I'll give you an outsider's opinion on kind of where you're at, and throw you the best suggestions I can. And hopefully at the end of the 1 hour session, you'll go, that's the fastest hour known to mankind. And number two, I can't believe I just learned $50,000 worth of ideas for this $400 session. Thank you, sir. May I have another? And we'll set you up another time. So there you go. Way to go, folks. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. It's great that you're here. And I sure hope you're all enjoying the trading week this week. Sure hope that a bunch of you have had a very good week this week. It has been something, I'll tell you that. Some of you have been sending me emails asking me, can you connect me to so-and-so? Because I want to be in that Discord group and stuff. Send me an email. When I'm off the air, I try to catch up on these. Sometimes, though, the problem is that they end up in my junk file, and I have to go through those too. So you have to bear with me as I try to, figure out what's going on, and separate the junk from the real people. And boy, do I get junk mail. Oh my God, do I get crap. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. And I get messages in the junk mail that I'm not sure are junk or not. They're like a 50-50, and you're going, is that junk or is that Memorex? What is that? So I have to renew that. Yeah, but boy, I get the same email address coming back at me, even after I call it. I try to block them, and it doesn't always work. They just keep coming back, or they come back with a slightly different email address than the one before. It's so depressing. It's so amateur hour, but they're going out. I guess they're using the old adage, we'll send out 5 million messages, and hopefully we'll suck in 10 or 15 people a day to do something stupid. I don't know. I'm just an old fart trying to stay on top of things. Thank you all so much for being here. Hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Okay. Nazareth, can you hold me tight virtually and say good things about my Heine? FL, need to buy something risky to balance out my short positions in the portfolio. Not sure what to throw money at. I have no idea what I can't help you there. Karim, hey, Uncle Bree, any thoughts on mutual funds? Nope. Michael, try stopping fizzing emails at a corporate level, Bruce. It's nonstop. Try stopping fizzing. I don't know what that means. Bobby, newest scam in my email. I got delivery held up at customs. Give credit card info to get a movie. Oh, that's the oldest one in the book. That's been around forever. Now, the ones that they say, we've adjusted your billing. We have a credit for you. Please, update your information so we can send you your credit. Yeah. Who are you? And what I love is it'll say a message from so-and-so, and then you look at where the email came from. It has nothing to do with so-and-so. It's something else. And then some of these they're not .coms. They're .somethings that I don't know where those are from. I mean, .scary is what they're from. It's unbelievable. Really bad. Let's see. Nick, Uncle Bruce is shorting Nike bad idea or a good idea? I think shorting is a good idea on Nike. The question is, of course, has it hit the low of the day already? Or will it go back and go lower? And the other question is, the Dow itself, we're down, 140 now? Is this real? Is it going to go lower? Like if we go down 300 or 400 points now, Nike should, kind of go with the flow further. But will it? I notice right now Nike is ebbing and beginning to inch back again. So that's a good thing. 84.77 right now. 22.6 times earnings. That would be the last 4 quarters combined. The quarter coming up will not be rosy at all, and it'll mean that the quarter from 4 quarters ago gets dropped, gets replaced by the newest 4 quarters, and this thing is trading at 30, 35 times earnings. Not good. Not good. That's my hunch. Retail stocks right now, avoid going long. You can make money going short, I think so. Morris, anyone here from EU trading on Tastyworks? My transfer was rejected. How are you making the deposits? And that's kind of weird. Dude, Boris, talk to Splair. Splair TV, he might know. I'm not sure if Splair's here. Splair, are you around? Say hello here if you can. We're down 94 on the Dow here. Nike 85.10, Biogen 261.05, Apple at 141.80, GameStop 25.25, SoFi 4.95, up 11 cents on SoFi. Giddy up SoFi, Rocket Lab up 5 cents, HBQ up 39. The AMC Ape combo down 17.5 cents. ME up 3, Matterport up 9, ATIP down a penny, Smart Rent down 1.5 cents, Spire up 0.3 of a penny, and Cyxtera down 4.5 cents. So mostly positive on the former SPACs. Anyway, that's what I see. Tesla's only up 143, just 143. That means shrinkage on options that have been written on Tesla. Congratulations out there, all of you who have been doing this. Nicely done. What else have we got going on here? We're down now 100 again on the Dow, down 2 on S&P, NASDAQ up 25. Okay. U.S. consumers remain pessimistic about the economy. Headline. I can see why. I can sure see why they would be rather pessimistic about the economy, for sure. All righty. There we go. And here we have it. Okay, guys, thank you for popping in here. Let's see what's going on here. FL, I'm on Tasty from the EU, but I have an American account, so I routed it through there. Boris, you should talk to customer support. They are really quick to get back to you. That's good to know. Christina sold 27 25s. I think this is GameStop for next week for 201. So she's writing 25s on GameStop. The stock's 25, 34, 38. She hauled in $2. So that's selling at 27. Nice move. That's $5,400 of cash in her hand right now. She decides how much to give back. I like this game. I like this game. The more you are holding in your hand, the easier it is to give less back. I like this game. Deuce, wife has nicknamed me Stinkbit as a result of my poor stock performance this year. I'd consider it an endearing, but she's been spending a lot of time at my neighbors. Should I be concerned? I'll see you later, Mr. Stinkbit. I'm going to have coffee with the neighbors. JR. Yes, customer service on Tasty is pretty good. So there you go, guys. Check out TastyBid. Boris, give those guys a call. See what's going on. Maybe they can help you out. They should be able to help you out anyway. Down 98, down 111 on the Dow right now. And 25.26 on GameStop. Just dropped about a dime. Christina, let's see how low they want to go for you and or how they peter out next week. I mean, we're down to no time left. This is great. This is a great premium. Really good. Interesting stuff. Bringing in cash. Absolutely. Wing, how did you manage 201s, Christina? I'm seeing 136 to 148. And it might be the week after. I don't know. Which ones were they? These were, what did she say? 25s? 120.35 I'm showing. The week after, I'm showing 168, 194. The week after, for the 21st, I'm showing 212, 235. Something tells me these might have been the 21st, the third Friday in the month. 2,300 exist. 212, 235 bid ask last at 221. Sounds familiar. Just saying. Okay, what do we got here? Michael, just be lucky. I'm not your neighbor. Wait, I'm no. I'm too young. Wing Commander, probably October 14. Zach, I'm number 221. Boris, just read now that they are not accepting deposits from Revolut and are recommending Currency Fair. I'm off to opening a Currency Fair account then. Splair, I tried to rewatch later and read what was the topic. And Deuce, my neighbor, I'm moving. Splair, I have to go now. Wishing you all a successful day. Thanks, Splair. Michael, find a new bridge then. Splair, thanks, buddy. Deuce Caboose, laughing out loud. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Tons of funds. GameStop 25.50 up 4. We have climbed into the green, which means options are climbing, premiums are climbing, and that means folks are looking at writing higher priced calls. The Dow is off 75 right now. We've got Nike at 85.31. We have Biogen that's 261.69. Okay. Apple 142.20, 142.13, down 35. GameStop down a penny at 25.45. Sorry, it's for the 14th. Christina saying it's the 14th. I wrote October 14s, not the 7s, not the 21s. I wrote the 14s. And of course, my quote is behind by 10 plus minutes. So somebody got a nice little price there on a bit of an uptick, which is great. I'm cooking spaghetti and yelling at the kids, lower your expectations, laugh out loud. Are you yelling that at the children? Lower your expectations. I'm just cooking spaghetti. I mean, give me a break. Oh man, I used to enjoy in college. I love talking about what I ate when I went to college. I remember I used to be in a room. I would rent a room in a house near the college in Toronto, and I had to make my own dinner Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday nights. So that was the last 2 years of my college career out of 3 years. And those other nights I managed to be at home and I'd get home cooking. But my spaghetti dinner would be Chef Boyardee with the meatballs. Buy a can of Chef Boyardee. And I would also buy, for another one of the days, I would consider buying beefaroni. I would buy beefaroni. And I remember in my first year of college, I was away for 4 nights. It'll be 4 nights I'd be gone. And I would buy a 12-pack of hot dogs. So I'd have 12 hot dogs, and I get a can of Chef Boyardee, or I'd get a can. I have a can of Campbell's chicken noodle soup. And being that I had 4 nights to eat 12 wieners, 3 hot dogs in the soup as the soup warmed up. And so I would have chicken noodle soup with 3 hot dogs in there, and have a little plate on the side, have the soup in a bowl or in a big coffee cup, and the sausages on a plate with a little bit of mustard. And I would buy a small half loaf of rye bread, and I would butter up a rye bread and have the bread, the hot dog, and the soup as my dinner as a 20-year-old. Good eating. And then I'd buy myself an apple pie at the grocery store, and I would eat a quarter of the pie every night. So 4 nights, quarter of a pie every night. So easy. And that's how I did it. For the entire sessions. Oh my goodness, what we did! And once in a while, I would treat myself. I would decide that I might just buy a few other items instead. I started getting into the. Do you remember the Campbell soups when they came out with the soup? What was that called? You used to get. Was it Hungry? No, not Hungry Man. Not Hungry Man dinner. There was a Campbell soup. They still make it, and it's the cans are a little larger, and it's kind of like almost a stew, more like a stew than a soup. And they had a name for it. But I can't remember at the moment. But I'd buy that with some bread. I'd have that. But once in a while, I would treat myself, and I wouldn't have the can of anything. And I'd go downtown on Yonge Street in Toronto. I would walk all the way down to Sam the Record Man and A&M Records, and nearby there, I would go into a Mr. Sub and get an assorted meat sub for 190 something, and with tax it was like 206 or 208 with tax to buy an assorted submarine way back when. Oh my gosh, those were chunky. That's right, Bill. Chunky soups. Thank you, buddy. Chunky soups. Yes, and I remember. I remember buying those. And they had the chunky soup with what looked like miniature hamburgers. It was like just beef, and they looked like miniature. They looked like a loony on steroids. It would be like 5 loonies stacked up in one stack, and it would be just a chunk of burger, but it would have this a grill line on it on each side. It would be like there would be a grill mark on it, as if it was a burger or something. I love that stuff, though. I love that stuff, and eat the beef version. And oh my gosh, canned stuff's just nasty. How did you survive without gagging and puking up your dinner? Well, you're 20. You can eat anything when you're 20. Finally, we talk about food, and I can't watch until the end. Bobby, once I lived off a bag of apples in college, my food and juice all in one bite. Spicy. Games I was waiting for me to write. Then it went up 25.64, up 18 cents. Arnica. Campbell's Chunky Soup. That's right. Campbell's Chunky Soup, JR. I have nightmares about weenies. My mom used to make weenies and sauerkraut. I cannot stand the smell to this day. Chunky Soup. Deuce, dude, we're almost above 5. Let's go. 5:02. We are above 5. Michael, no RSS for stink bid. Deuce, stink bid can't find wife, but sees wife's car at the neighbor's. He's a doctor. Debbie, welcome, Debbie. Sirloin Chunky Soup. That's right. Sirloin Chunky Soup. That's right. Oh man, oh man. I used to remember buying a cherry pie or a peach pie and have a quarter of it every night. I remember I would occasionally buy those. It's like a Swiss roll. It's just chocolate cake. This is factory made chocolate cake, and then they'd have this factory made whipping cream spread on it, and they would roll it up, and it would be rolled up like a carpet, and it would be about this long and about this high, and I would cut it into 4 sections and have 1 section per night. But it was light as air. It was just so light. It's garbage cake. It was just garbage. But when you're 20, you eat garbage. My dad fed us kids corned beef hash and toast every night for a week when my mom was hospitalized many, many years ago. Obviously, he could not cook. I remember my dad having to cook. I think I can't remember why, but my mom wasn't home for a couple of nights. Might have been in the hospital, and he made grilled cheese sandwiches, and we had tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. That was like 1963. I was 8. Oh no, at 65, I was 9 because my sister was born. That's why mom was in the hospital having the sister, and he did those. He also would prepare another meal. He'd prepare would be ham and eggs. Never had ham and eggs before. Had bacon and eggs, but ham and eggs, that was something else. What else did he what did he do? He of course what he loved to do, and this is where my love for bagels comes from. There was a bakery in Toronto near the Yorkdale Shopping Center. They were a Jewish bakery, and they produced bagels. And in those days, you would go in and you'd come out with a paper bag full of bagels, and he would buy 2 dozen, and we'd bring home these bagels, and immediately getting into the house, I mean, right away, the oven would be turned on, and he would put in 3 or 4 bagels to get them warmed up, and we would get into our rooms and we'd change out, and my sister and I would be nighttime now, so we'd be in our pajamas. We'd come back into the kitchen, and 5 or 7 minutes later, they're warmed up, and he'd have an oven mitt, and he would cut the bagels wearing an oven mitt because they were hot to the touch. And then on the kitchen table, the 4 of us would sit there, and my mom would get the butter, and she'd spread the butter on the bagels as it melted, like a hot knife through soft butter. And then the jelly or the cheese whiz or whatever was put on it. And here we are eating freshly baked, reheated bagels. 1962, 63, 64. Oh my God, was there something? There was nothing better than that. That was. My father loved putting on, like he would love putting on like liver sausage, or he would put on a slice of ham, or he would get some kielbasa and he would cut slices of kielbasa and put that on his bagel, one half on the other half, and then chomp that. Oh yeah, those are good times. Indeed, it made him forget the war years. Deuce Caboose says, soon you'll be making more money than the doc. Deuce, 503, 505 on SoFi. Mike, grilled cheese sandwiches, aka the happy waitress. Deuce likes the positivity. Coyote, SoFi over 5. What a lad. JR's tomato soup and grilled cheese, an American staple. Annika, see, now that would have been great level. He could open a can and reheat. That's it, but still a great dad. Deuce, neat. JR, did you just say liver sausage? Oh yeah, what the heck is that? You guys call that pate. The kids today call liver sausage pate, but in Deutschland, Leberwurst. That's what we call Leberwurst. And they would always buy the Leberwurst from German delicatessens, and it would just spread on there like a nice, smooth, like a peanut butter. It was spread on like a peanut butter. Delicious. Oh my goodness. Zach, simple pleasure, Bruce. Good times indeed. Leberwurst, yeah. Susan shops around. Dinty Moore made those cans of sirloin stews too. Memory lane with Bruce. Mike, Leberwurst, yeah. Constantine, stink bin in place. When did it come to it? GameStop 25.75 up 29. SoFi 506 up 22. Apple 142.78 up 29. Biogen down 36 to 263, and Nike down 85.98. The Dow up 26 points. So there you go. Hi, Susan shops about. How did you fare through Ian? Remember those matchstick potato chips? Oh yes, not swizzle sticks. Jennifer still buys them. Hickory sticks. They're called. Tasty hickory sticks. They're like mini French fries in a bag. Yeah. Take a French fry and shrink it by 90%, and you have these little hickory sticks in a snack. Oh yeah, they were great. Pretzels back then, and cheesies. I remember when they came out. Cheesies. Oh, that was. Yeah, my dad also showed us something new that one time he came back from a road trip, and he says that this is a new. This is the first time I've had this. I had this up in Sudbury or in North Bay or Geraldton or whatever. And you take a piece of white bread and you cut a hole in the middle of it, and you butter you put butter on the one side, and you put it onto a pan, and it starts to fry in its own butter. And then you take an egg and you break the egg inside the hole, and then you mix up the egg, or you don't, depending how you want it, and you're frying the egg inside butter. My mother going, "What is that?" My German mother going, "Huh, was ist das?" And then once you got it fried up, you flip it over and do the other side, because now you put butter on the top part of the bread, flip it over and fry that side. And of course, the bottom is golden brown. And now you can just smell this. And what he would then do is he would take a slice of ham, just a slice of ham, and he'd put that on top. And he'd then flip that over with the ham on it, and just a little added extra. And we'd have that with ketchup, with fork and knife. And oh my God. I said, "Man, Dad, this traveling as a salesman is a pretty good gig you got going here. You're eating some really neat food." He said, "Learning all kinds of new stuff about this Canadian culture." JR, still waiting for my stink bid shirt. Got a package from Amazon today, and we all got excited. It turned out to be some socks I ordered, not the stink bid socks. Oh no. Michael, potato sticks in the U.S. Lorraine, news: Russia blows up gas pipelines. Karen, growing up in German household in California, I loved liverwurst and blood sausage. Blood sausage. And uh, what's the other one that would be made occasionally? We called it head cheese. Zulza. You remember Zulza? If you're German, you know what Zulza is. Oh my gosh, that's head cheese. That was a delicacy in our house. Most Americans would go, "Oh, are you out of your mind?" Zach, chicken in a basket. JR, double heart attack city, but so yummy. Agodi, ever heard of ham? It's ham that tastes like lamb. Susan, Adarnika, we have a full house generator. We felt okay with winds and power shortage. That was until a huge tree limb crashed down on the generator. Winds are terrible, but nothing like Naples, says Susan. Unbelievable. Kind of like spam coyote. Kind of like. Oh man, when my mother would make what we would call hamburger patties. But if you can imagine a hockey puck, a thick slab of a hamburger, and then you fry it, and it would start shrinking, and it would become like a dome, have a little dome on the top and the bottom. She would call that klops, and she would make klops, and it would have diced onion in it, and diced maybe chive in there, garlic powder, salt, pepper. She'd fry that on both sides, and then she would make a wild mushroom gravy sauce. Oh my God. And she'd make then boiled potatoes. And then she would let the potatoes cool during the afternoon. Then she would slice the potatoes into thin potato chip type slices. And then she would get oil, vegetable oil in a pan, get it hot, and then put these sliced potatoes in the pan and fry them. That's called Bratkartoffel, refried potatoes. Oh, crispy on both sides. Put that on your plate with the clumps, and then cover it with my wild mushroom gravy on top of that. That's how you survive a winter in Canada. Oh my gosh. And I love toast with schmaltz. Oh, schmaltz. Yes, schmaltz. That would be pork fat or beef fat left over and in a bowl in the kitchen. And it would have that white covering on it. And you would use that as a butter and then put salt on it. Oh, schmaltz with salt on it. Oh, man. Mirko, we still eat Zulza in Germany. Zulza, yes. Alberto, I was so poor we ate grilled cheese sandwiches with no cheese. We were so poor we lived in a box without a lid on it. Sheer luxury. JR, my mom fried spam cooked on a sugar teriyaki sauce with pineapple chunks. Don't know why people hate spam so much, as it is actually quite tasty. It's very popular in Hawaii. Mega popular in Hawaii. Bill, okay, Bruce, you're getting me all hot and bothered here. That food. Michael, guess it's an early lunch day. Boris, I eat Spätzle whenever I travel a journey. It's so yummy in Germany. Deuce Caboose, number 506 on SoFi, 505. JR, my grandma made Birok SP. Wow, that butter slathered on it. Wow, talk about shoot the moon. Bobby, any word from Jennifer? I believe she's in North Carolina. Anywhere area, a bit of a windy day there, I think. Chris Savage, Bertie, you remember that government cheese blocks we'd get? The sausage links with the sandwich bread was everything. Oh man, food. And I remember food as a kid, German delicacies that the parents would crank out, because mom and dad starved in the 30s, the Depression. They starved in the 40s, the war. they splurged in the 50s and the 60s. When the kids showed up, we had learning to do. We had some learning to do. Let me show you what food is really like. This fast food garbage here in Toronto. No. Why don't we show you some real food? There you go, Susan. We moved from Amelia Island from Orlando. Think it was a good move because Amelia Island trucks in like an elbow. Neighbors say hurricane skirts away from land here and go to the ocean. We deal with winds and floods. Coyote, my mom made me Lunchables. Being from a third world country as immigrants into this country was a trip. I never understood why people would complain about free stuff. Nick, I'm a vegetarian, and hearing this meaty food is making me sick. I'm going to mute it. Oh man, Jr. Coyote, Lucky Duck, Coyote, vegan here. What's up, fam? Bill, I'm drooling. All right, folks, I gotta go. It's 2 hours 9 minutes. I gotta get going. We're up 7 on the Dow. Nike is 85.48. Biogen 266. Apple is down 26 cents. GameStop 25.56, up just a dime. The high on GameStop has been 25.76. It's now 25.56, so it's backed off a little bit there. SoFi 504 up 19. Rocket Lab up 7. HPQ at 25.58 up 53. We've got ME up 4.2 cents. Matterport up 12. ATIP down a half a penny. Smart Rent up a tenth of a penny. Spire up 1.5 cents. Xterra up 6 cents at the moment. Bed Bath Beyond up 24. Tesla up 3.30 at 271. We got Pfizer up a quarter. Boeing down 110. Cisco up 33. Twitter up 82. Home Depot up 137. Carvana up 11. Robinhood up 34. And we got IBM down 9. Microsoft up 143. Not much else going on here. Royal Caribbean down 4.22 to 39.20. Norwegian down $1.94, and Carnival down 181 to 7.35. And that is what I see here on a lot of these stocks, down 5 points on the Dow. All right. I will see you guys at 3 o'clock this afternoon, the final hour of the week, final hour of the day, the last hour for options. And let's see how everything is going. 25.51 up a nickel on GameStop. That's all it is. We're not going anywhere. Interesting. Uncle Bruce thinking about breakfast now, laughing out loud. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Deuce Caboose, wishing everyone a nice weekend. Let's see. Hope everybody gets a bunch of moolah. Have a great one, everybody. And we are done. Okay, that's it, folks. Have a good one. We'll see you at 3 this afternoon. Bye for now.